Okay, actually it's on page 4. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanje joda zoge jonamda chanjo bardo dane gyapsu che dage chinso kebe tsonam yola benjere sanje drubara sho. Okay, some of you may be wondering to know the meaning of this, the Tibetan verse. I'll quickly explain this. Sangha is Buddha. Sangha is Buddha. Che is Dharma. Tang is and. Chok ki chok together. Chok chok is the supreme of the community, supreme of the gathering, supreme of the community, referring to Sangha. Chok ki chok. Namla is to these. Namla is to these. Changjuk is enlightenment. Pardu is till that point, until enlightenment. Changju Pardu. Dag is self, I. Ni is the linking word. Gyapsuchi. Gyapsuchi is go for refuge. I go for refuge until enlightenment. Dag again, Dag is the self, I. Ki is again the linking word. And Jin. Jin is generosity, the practice of generosity. Jin is the Jimpa. So is etc. etc. Kiba is done. Done. What that I engaged in, that I did, generosity and so forth. Chok namgi. Chok is the accumulation. Namgi is these. Chok namgi, these accumulations. These accumulations of generosity and so forth. La. Do is sentient beings. Migrators or sentient beings. La is the linking word. Is the two. Pen chir, to benefit. Pen is benefit. Chir is for the sake of benefiting. Chir is for the sake of. Pen is benefit. Chir. Sangye is Buddha. Dupa is accomplish, attain. Shok is may. May I attain Buddhahood to benefit the sentient beings. Okay, we'll say this again 2 times. Sanje joda soge chonam na chanju bardu dane gyapsuch dage jin soge me chonam ge dola benjir sanje ju baresho. Sanje joda soge chonam na chanju bardu Jinsoge be sonam ge dola benjire sanje ju barasho. Sanje choda soge chonam da chanju bardo dane gyapsu che dage jinso kebe sonam dola benjire sanje ju barasho. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam Hetum tesham dathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. Om ye dharma prabhavam Hetum tesham dathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam Hetum tesham dathagato yavatat Desham Chayo Niroda Evam Vati Mahashramanaya Swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well is taught by the great seer. Deyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata. Okay, we are talking about the first seal, that all composite things are impermanent, and impermanence is of two kinds, the gross and the subtle. And the gross one is the impermanent phenomena, whose continuum terminates, whose continuum comes to an end. For example, say the beautiful sunset and the spring. Now we are heading towards autumn. The spring is coming to an end, and your youth comes to an end, where the Buddha taught that whatever gathers will disperse, whatever is born will die, and whatever is accumulated is what exhausts. And these are the reality of life. And at the same time, we should be courageous enough to to know the reality in advance. And His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, very clearly indicates that by reflecting on impermanence, of course there's a great purpose, benefit there. If there's no benefit, then there's no point in meditating on impermanence, on the suffering nature, but there's a great benefit there. And in line with this, I remember when I was in Cambridge in England, 2003, when most of you must be toddlers. Pinzole, toddler? 16 years ago.
In 2003?
Yes.
I must be around 7-8 years.
Okay, so most of you, some of you may be not even born yet. Okay, so at that time what happened was that I had a friend, and an extremely decent gentleman, and what somehow we became friends through his very small little son. And then one time he invited me to his place for a meal, and he asked me, Dorji, tell me something about Buddhism. And not that he's interested in Buddhism, simply because we are friends and just to make each other feel comfortable. And I started to talk about the Buddhism, starting with suffering. Totally inexperienced. Just coming out of the Tibetan ghetto, in the monastic ghetto there. From there I came out and started with the suffering. Totally inexperienced. And he listened to me very patient for 2 or 3 minutes, and he said, Dorji, stop. I said, what happened? He said that in the West, don't teach suffering. Nobody wants to hear this. And he said that, believe it or not, in Cambridge, in the Cambridge city, they call it city centre. By the way, is there anyone from Cambridge, England? No one. At the city centre, there were accidents happening once in a while accidents happen, and then the people injury, these things happen, the car accidents happen, and no doubt blood comes on the road. But believe it or not, within 10 minutes, you come after the 10 minutes, you don't even see a trace there. Everybody is scared of death. This is what he said. And I quite agree with him. So whereas they say this culture meaning the culture of Buddhism, there we courageously, deliberately we think about impermanence, we think about the suffering. As the students indicated, there's a great purpose there. That finally, that nobody wants to go through the shocking experience, tragic experience of acute pain and sudden news that you are suffering from terminal illness and so forth. We should be well prepared ahead of time, and also that there is a concept of the rebirth. And from what we are going to learn over the next few days, the rebirth concept is there, which also plays a very important role. And in this connection, that the reflect on impermanence, that is a great meaning indeed. So people who hear about these realities, we can see that they're more resilient in their mind, and they can, they tackle their life's challenges more easily. And of course, with the greater meaning of life, life after the death, a great purpose can be accomplished out of this reflection. So, there is what is the impermanence. One is the gross impermanence, where the continuum of the impermanent phenomena comes to an end or gets terminated. Number one. Then number two, that the reality of our life, that our life is impermanent. That's for sure. And one day it'll come to an end, and whether we like it or not, in the 100 years from now, or 150 years from now, or let's say 150 years from now, the almost like 8 billion human beings today, not even a single person will be left then, that's for sure. Right? We can talk about, there's some rishi, some saint there who he lived for 200 years, 300 years. We can never see that. We never see them. Right? We heard about these stories, but we never saw such people there. The reality is that in 200 years, the 8 billion human beings today, they will all disappear. That's for sure. That's for sure. So with this in mind, then reflect on the impermanence of the death, number one. Number two, that the uncertainty of the time of death, number two. There's also to be reflected upon. One is the certainty of the death, impermanence of death, which means that one day I will leave this world. Number two, that uncertainty of the time of the death. When this will happen, not sure. Today, tomorrow, after 10 years, 20 years, we never know. So these two things, of course, for those of us who came from a very different, the cultural background, where these things are never talked about, it can be little, quite scary for you to hear these things. But if you see the broader picture of the reality of what the whole samsara is, and then you will see that this is really very meaningful. And the next point is, all composite things are impermanent, all contaminated things are suffering nature. Then what is the number three? Everything or all phenomena is the nature of emptiness, selflessness. Then what is next? Transcending sorrow is absolute peace. Only by understanding the first 3 points, then we can expect to understand number 4, transcending sorrow, where you don't run away from the sorrow, but you transcend sorrow. It's very different. Let's say shirking the sufferings, that is simply running away from the suffering. You cannot run away from suffering altogether. So what should we do? We should transcend sorrow. transcend sorrow, where the sorrow cannot, say, take a grip of you. The sorrow cannot really, say, torture you, torment you. So that is what we should be doing. We should transcend sorrow. And of course, how to transcend sorrow? This is to be discussed. Whereas this is not really discussed in many of the cultures. How the sorrow is transcended. And that too, logical explanation, not through just blind faith. That you believe in me, and then you will be liberated. You will be taken away. You will transcend sorrow. It's not like this, that you will rationally learn, logically you learn how the transcendence of sorrow happens. And if that happens, it's just so precious for us. Everybody, whether you are Asian or non-Asian, it doesn't matter. Everybody is seeking to run away from the fears of life, to stay away from fears of life, if possible, to transcend it altogether. And if there's a possibility, why not? Why not we go for that? This is the point. So, as a preparation, first, if I say that let's say that you are in a prison which provides you with the swimming pool, with the Starbucks, and so forth, then would you be eager to run away from the prison? You may not even identify that you are in prison. Whereas a wise person, knowing that, okay, this is the trick, this is the plot of the prison guard to build a swimming pool there, to set up to install or set up the Starbucks and so forth. This is the trick of the prison guard to keep me intact in the prison after 1 year execution. Right? Whereas if you are unaware of that, if you are so infatuated by the lures in the prison, the swimming pool, the Starbucks and so forth, then you will not know how 1 year passes by, and then the next day you will get the letter saying that tomorrow is your execution day. Right? So this is all because of we're being trapped by the bait of this. So the point is that we need to identify how we are actually, sometimes people say that the West is for the youth, not for the old people like me. The West is for the youth, for the young people. Right? I don't know how true that is. But there are many Westerners. Do you agree with this or not? We don't agree. Because they say that if you don't believe in the greater concepts, if you don't believe in bigger concepts, right? So it's just like everywhere, it's like pubs and so forth. It's not that everybody is bad, everybody's doing the thing, but the point is that this is what many people believe. Because for them, what is life? Life is work hard, you earn money, enjoy. This is what many people believe in this. So what do you mean by work hard? I cannot work hard with this, this body already gave up to the injection of the COVID vaccine. With the COVID vaccine, earlier I used to think that I'm young. And with the COVID vaccine, no reaction. Young people, they had such a reaction of 2 days, the fever, then they had the joint pain. So I don't have any pain. Then I realized that it's because of my strength of the body. No, the body surrendered. Already 55 years old, the body surrendered. You're getting it? So with this body surrendering into the COVID vaccine, I can't imagine that myself working so hard like this, to earn money like this. No. So whereas the young people can. So this is why many people think that they say some of the cultures, they are more like the culture for the youth. Okay, so whatever is the case, that the point is that there's a great purpose in reflecting on these things. Only when you reflect on the severity of the problems of the life, then you will realize the benefit of exiting or transcending the sorrows. You will value that. Okay. So with this in mind, the reflecting on impermanence, the gross and subtle. The gross one already dealt with. Now the subtle one. Subtle one is that what is the impermanent phenomenon? Any impermanent phenomenon, having involved transitoriness. transitoriness, momentariness involved. That momentariness of the impermanent phenomena is known as subtle impermanence. Momentariness, be it your hand, be it a pillar, be it a tree, be it Thosamling, be it, say, the all composite phenomena, composite phenomena should necessarily have the transitoriness or the momentariness involved there. So look at this, for example, say the momentariness meaning, let's say we are together here, Thosamling, that is some beautiful place here, and Venerable Samula says that we'll have, we will plant what, apple tree.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we'll plant an apple tree in a place where there is no apple tree today. We plant it today, and after 10 years we come back, which is 2032. 2032 we come back. And all of you said, oh, earlier 10 years ago there was no tree here. How come there's such a beautiful 10 feet tall tree there? So this 10 feet tall tree, you think that it was non-existent before, that was 10 years ago. And then is it that the last 9 years and 11 months, the sapling that you planted remain sleeping, and suddenly, oh, tomorrow completes 10 years, so I have to grow 10 feet tall? No. Every year it was growing 1 foot. Every year there was 1 foot. And the first year, 1 foot tall sapling, again he said that 11 months, the last 11 months he was sleeping, and said, oh, tomorrow completes the 1 year, I have to pop up 1 foot. No. Every month it was growing 1 inch. Every month. 12 months, 12 inches. Okay. So which means that month by month it was changing. Although we look at the tree and we see it so static, if you don't believe, look at this pillar. How does this pillar appear to you? Changing, moving like this, or so static. How does it appear to you? So static. This is how our senses are deceived. Our senses are deceived. In reality, look at this tree. 10 feet tall tree. It seems so gigantic, static. In actuality, it has been growing. Just think logically. This is so powerful. Therefore, the Buddha's teachings are grounded on the logical thinking. Same. Every year it was growing one foot, and every month it was growing 1 inch. So this change that you see over the span of 10 years is possible only if the change was happening of the year by year, yearly the change was happening. This yearly change is happening only possible only if the change is happening on the monthly basis. You agree? And the change that you see on the monthly basis is possible only if there's a change happening on the weekly basis, daily basis, right? And then the hourly basis, then minute by minute basis, second by second basis, right? Okay, say if you look at the wall clock, do you see the minute hand moving? You just keep looking at, you see the minute hand moving? You would not see that moving. The second hand moving? Yes, you see it. So even this tree, which seems to be so static, is not actually static. It's moving at this second by second level. To see that this change is happening on the minute by minute level, possible only if there's a change happening on the second by second level. This change on the second by second level is possible only if there's a change happening on the millisecond level. A millisecond level changes are possible only if there's a change happening on the nanosecond level. You getting it? So you can keep going like this. We see that then all the composite things, including this tree, they are moving so fast. This is how it moves, so fast. In fact, it seems as so static. This is illusion. This is optical illusion that we are going through. And likewise, look at your body. Is it changing or not changing? If you literally see, if you see this, your hand, your whole body changing momentarily, it's very scary, right? Very scary. And so what do you feel? You look at your picture photograph of 10 years ago and today, what do you feel? You feel that I've aged a lot. You're getting it? Okay. So you don't see this change. but this change is invariably happening. So if you can see this change on this the millisecond level, like this is very scary. And therefore, what I may suggest to you and to myself as well, that if we can sometimes, we can take like 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Some of you who have, let's say like your time in your hands, to sit for retreat, just on impermanence and the suffering. Retreat on this, and whatever commitments that you have, like sadhana and so forth, you can do that. Meanwhile, the focus should be on the meditation impermanence, just on impermanence, gross impermanence, subtle impermanence, then the all contaminated things of suffering nature. Just on these 2 lines, if you could meditate, and if, say, due to this effort, the retreat, if you start to feel a tinge of fear in your mind that all these things, they're moving so fast like this, this marks the success. This is the time, it is for this reason that the Buddha taught that of all the footprints, the footprint of the elephant is the supreme, and of all the meditations, meditation on impermanence is the supreme. Okay, what do you think? What made the Buddha, or why the Buddha taught that the meditation on impermanence is supreme? Why? Anyone?
Because it helps you to realize emptiness. Because if you
so it helps you to realize emptiness, which means meditation on emptiness is more supreme.
Yeah.
So the meditation on the impermanence is not the supreme. There's something more supreme than that. Okay, no more. Good attempt. Yes, over there.
To reduce clinging?
Yes, to reduce clinging, meditation on emptiness also reduces clinging greatly. Okay, anybody? Yes.
Impermanence is something that's constant, it always happens.
And the emptiness also always there with us. Anyone else? Okay, Abhishek ji. To understand reality, so you need to understand impermanence? Okay, good. Thank you. There. Say it again.
If it is supreme, the impermanence, then understanding impermanence should lead to the supreme goals of fearlessness.
So what is your standpoint? It is not the supreme meditation, is what you're saying? It is. So but let us keep in mind that simply by meditating on impermanence all the time, it will not take you to nirvana. Okay, this is why I'm asking. If it's so simple, I would not ask this question to you. Okay, I said, what is important? Let's say all of us, we have this problem. Say the problem of procrastination. Right? How many had that problem? Raise hands. Some of us, we even don't know what is procrastination. But I'm procrastinating, I'm not too sure. Right? Okay, so let's say that say that how important it is. Let's say that if there's a snake somewhere outside, right? Then I would say that okay, Raviji, there's a snake there, right? Please would you mind removing it? And if the snake is right here, right? Shall I say, oh, there's a snake here? Oh, what will I do? Huh? I'll jump, right? When outside, I'll not jump. Here, I'll jump. Why? By the time I say, Raviji, there's a snake here, it will bite me, right? But keep in mind that snakes they don't bite us. They are afraid themselves. So if we stay calm, confident, the snake will go on its own way. right? We just created the kind of our own supposition that the snakes are so angry by nature. The moment they see you, they attack you. No, that's not the case. They are afraid of the human beings, right? If you don't harm them, just stay there, don't shout, stay there calm, the snake will go in its own way. Yeah, okay. So the point is that here the sense of urgency comes. So by meditating impermanence, sense of urgency comes. With sense of urgency, then you will work so hard to meditate on emptiness, the liberating path, the bodhicitta, which the renunciation. Your meditation will become very efficient. So therefore, the Buddha, it is said that the first teaching the Buddha gave is the teaching on impermanence, and the last teaching the Buddha gave is also teaching on impermanence. Let's not forget it. Okay. So this is the all-encompassing impermanent. And if you meditate on this, the reasoning that I gave you, say like, okay, this hand, say I saw some of you already know that. My hands, when I was 7 years old, I so well remember that I was so fascinated by the wonder of the tenderness of the complexity, the complexion of my hands. So beautiful, so cute. When I was 7 years old, and today I look at it, it's no more cute. So which means that it has undergone this change. And if you look at this change, when did it happen? Did it happen yesterday? When? So this is how, if you reflect on this change, it was much nicer than this 10 years ago. Even better, 20 years ago. Still better, 30 years ago. Which means that every year it is becoming worse. Every year. So this change is possible. 50 years of change is possible only if there's a change happening on the annual basis. And then you make this time, the time range smaller. The change happening on the annual basis is possible only if there's change happening on the monthly basis. And monthly, just look at the 4 seasons. For example, here we have 4 seasons. 4 seasons, and the autumn comes and chill, comes. You feel okay now. The spring, summer gone, autumn. Then the winter comes, autumn gone. So every time there's the change in the season happens, if you are someone who reflects on these impermanence, you will get a feeling of little uneasiness within you, leading a feeling of nostalgia, feeling of missing something, feeling of you becoming older. Whereas for some people, okay, now autumn, or now we look forward to the winter, we look forward to the spring, happy birthday, right? What is happy birthday? 1 year older. This is reality, right? And if I say that, okay, we are celebrating that you're 1 year older, nobody will be happy, right? It's your birthday, you feel happy. It's just a self-deception. It's a self-deception. We have to accept the reality. Accept the reality, you become strong. It helps us to become strong. So this is how we reflect on impermanence. The monthly basis, weekly basis, the change happening on weekly basis, the change happening. It's just a matter of thinking. We keep thinking like this, known as analytical meditation. You keep thinking like this, then gradually your mind can digest the change that is happening on the weekly basis, daily basis, hourly basis, then what? Minute by minute basis, second by second basis, and then you can go even subtler, millisecond, nanosecond, and so forth. Actually, nanosecond is not really necessary. By the time you reach the level where you are able to see on a second by second basis the change is happening, then the millisecond change is happening, that's good enough. It will give you a great sense of urgency within you, a great sense of urgency. There was when I was, I think, 20 or 21 years old, I sat for like 2 months retreat, just on impermanence and the suffering, because there was no choice. I was not really exposed to emptiness, not exposed to bodhicitta, because of which there is no choice other than to meditate on these two things. And my teacher, Venerable Gyanlamri Barambache, I sought his advice, what should I meditate? He said, meditate on the impermanence and suffering. And then I was just doing that. So usually these experiences are not to be shared. They have to be kept for yourself, and kept to yourself, because that if you share these experiences, then the tendency for us, the ordinary beings, the tendency that our ego, negative thoughts can creep in, and it will destroy the effects of the practices. But for now, we see there are many youngsters, so to inspire the people that this is something that we can do. If you do, you can feel the benefit. So for that matter, I'm sharing this, not for any other reasons. Okay, so if you meditate on this, if you succeed in this meditation properly, and of course with the help of the other books as well, the books of Lumbering, there you can see the mention of the impermanence. And there's no such steps, step 1, step 2, step 3. No, you have to somehow design your own practice. But the main clue, as I said earlier, so you reduce the time span of the growth that you see, the change that you see in a yearly basis, or the 10 years, the change that you see in 10 years, you try to see that as only possible if the change is happening on the yearly basis. You reduce from 10 years to 1 year, 1 year to 1 month, 1 month to 1 week, 1 week to 1 hour, 1 hour to 1 minute, 1 minute to 1 second, 1 second to 1 millisecond. This is how we reduce the time range. And then, otherwise, if you jump directly to the 1 millisecond, our mind will not work at all like this. Our mind has to be trained gradually. Okay, so this is how we meditate on impermanence. And the meditation impermanence, of course, it is a tremendous benefit that a sense of urgency will come to us, and with a sense of urgency, then we will not, the procrastination stops, and whatever we do, practice that we do, will become very effective. Okay, what's next? Hey, what's the second C here? Huh? All contaminated things are suffering nature. Okay, let us imagine that we have practiced the wisdom of emptiness. No, the wisdom of impermanence. So with this we have come to realize that all the composite phenomena, they are like momentarily moving so fast. So actually, if you meditate, if your meditation goes successfully, then you will literally feel like all these the solid material things. Mind, not sure, because the mind requires more skills. But the material things which we can readily see, so you can see them as move so fast like this. Very scary though, very scary. You reach the point. If you succeed in this, your practice will become really very meaningful. Okay. So now imagine that we have all realized this, that all composite things, the impression that we get is that all these composite things, they move so fast, like the vibrations, like it's like this is how they move. If that's the case, then you get a feeling that the kind of of course you get a fear, and the fear, if you do get it, and if it's acutely strong, you cannot bear it, then stop meditation for some time, because it can, if it's not complemented by the support of merit, it can make you go into a little bit of depression. But this happens to 1 out of 1 million. Don't worry about it, right? Practice it. If you do, whenever you get time, practice it. It's not necessary that, okay, I will do it only when I'm retired. Don't wait till that point, right? Even if it's just like 2 days of the long weekend, 2 days, 3 days, just say, okay, now this is I'm going to sit for a retreat on impermanence. On impermanence and suffering nature, the first two seals of Buddha's teachings. And then you kind of yourself, you can inform your friends meaning people who are really very close to you, just inform them this is what I'm doing, and then I will close my mobile. Okay, this is how we do. And then you sit for your retreat. Yeah, start a little early, go to bed early, and for 2-3 days. But don't expect that you will have some miracle power in 2-3 days. Nothing will happen, right? In fact, you may feel demoralized, saying that what practice did I do in the last 2 days? 2 days simply finished. This is how we have to go. Gradually we become more and more experienced, and then you'll be able to design your the timing properly, where you will have the time management, proper time management. All these things will happen eventually. But you have to begin somewhere. Okay. So imagine that we reach to that level where we have realized that the composite things, they move so fast, like a fast-moving train. And imagine that if somebody, say unknown person, a stranger, picks you up from the platform, the train platform, and then you are thrown into a very fast-moving train. What do you feel? What will you feel? The fear. Why fear? You don't know where this train is taking you. You cannot jump. It's a very fast-moving train. So when you realize that your body is moving so fast, it's changing so fast, and the whole world, whole universe is moving so fast. It is like you are thrown into a very fast-moving train. Faster the train moves, the more the fear. So who decides where this train is taking you? Who decides where this train is taking you?
The train would have a conductor, so...
Train conductor, but the train driver decides. And imagine that if the train driver is your mother, then the train will take you to a picnic spot. But if the train driver is a terrorist, it will take you to a slaughterhouse. Right? So in our case, the train driver is none other than your own mind. Your mind is the train driver. And this mind, unfortunately, although it is not the terrorist, but the mind is under the terrorist of the two worst contaminations. Self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. The two terrorists. Self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. And our job is, over the next few days, we need to know the distinction between the self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. The distinction. These two are not same, these two are different. We need to make the distinction between these two things so well. And these two are the two things that exist within us. And if you want to know, how do we know that I have these two things, these two demons within us? Let me quickly tell you and evaluate whether it's true or not, or whether you have it or not. What's the first one? Self-centered, self-grasping ignorance. What is self-grasping ignorance? Let's say that you watch a movie in a movie theater, and a ghost movie. It is a ghost movie. You are watching a ghost movie. Now, particularly when you are very young, age 2, age 3, you're so scared, and what do you cover your head, right? Okay. When you're older, most likely you will not cover your head. You know that it's coming from the projector. The movie is coming from the projector. You getting it? Okay. Now you pick up something. Whatever you have on your table, just pick up something and look at it. Look at it. Do you see, does the object appear to you like a movie being projected by your mind, or independent of your mind, it appears as independent of your mind? How does the object appear to you? Independent of your mind. This is known as self-grasping. Grasping the object as objectively real. This is self-grasping. Don't worry, we're going to study more on this. If you have this, the demon of the self-grasping ignorance is already within you. You're getting it? Self-grasping ignorance is there. Now, what is the second one? Self-centered attitude. Self-centered attitude. Okay, let's say that let's say that we're all extremely thirsty under scorching sun, extremely thirsty, acutely thirsty. Okay, how many of you had that experience of acute thirst? Listen, just craving to have water. Listens. Okay. So there, somebody says, okay, who likes to have this? I have only one glass of water, and I will give it to only one person, not to be shared with anybody. Just one person. Who likes to have it? Huh? I will have it. That is self-centered attitude. That is self-centered attitude. You getting it? And some of you might not have that experience. Some of you may say, no, what's the problem? I give it to somebody else. Which means you have no experience of the acute thirst, acute hunger, acute thirst. They are terribly painful. So they already have it. If that comes, self-centered attitude is acting on you. So these two demons are already within us. Oftentimes people come for these retreats, and then they're successful. They get some kind of understanding that, okay, now I have to use my life very meaningfully. So from this, after this, I'll go to Himalaya for meditation. So where I'll leave everything behind. So when you go, self-grasping and self-centered also come with you. Right? So these are the two things which create problem to us. Right? Your car doesn't create problem. Your good food doesn't create problem. Your good house doesn't create problem. It's the two things inside us: self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude. These two things are the ones which create problem to us. So, and you want to leave everything, and you want to go to Himalaya. So, like the moment you go to Himalaya, you attain nirvana. Self-grasping, ignorance, and self-centered attitude. These also come with you, right? Support you to come to Himalaya. They also come to you. Okay. So these are two demons. Where your mind is contaminated by these two demons, you will never be happy. It will take you to the slaughterhouse. This is the meaning of all contaminated things are of suffering nature. Contaminated meaning all. So for that, contaminated. What contaminates and what is contaminated. So what contaminates is a self-grasping ignorance. Primarily self-grasping ignorance, and self-centered attitude is the one which complements to make this self-grasping ignorance active, to give rise to the miseries. So primary self-grasping ignorance. So what contaminates are the contaminations. What are the contaminations? All afflictions are the contaminations. Afflictions and contaminations, these two are synonymous. So we talk about the contaminated karma which are influenced by the afflictions. So contaminated has the word contaminates. The contaminations contaminate. What are the contaminations? Afflictions. Okay. So where our mind is under the dictate of the contaminations, or under the dictate of the afflictions, we will never have a peace of mind. We'll only have miseries. All contaminated things are of suffering nature. And the suffering like what? Suffering like what? How many of you had, at least in your life, at least one time in your life, as a very severe suffering, acute suffering, resents? Okay. What does it mean by acute suffering? I don't know. Resents? You don't know what suffering is? Okay. Okay, resents those who have no idea what is acute suffering. Okay, Angela, Tenzin Angela, and who else? Okay, your name? Rizana. Yonela? Acute suffering? No. Okay, the Angela? No. Okay. Then the here, Chazumla? No? Okay. Physicist? No? Okay. So the younger ones, don't worry, there are so many, acute pains waiting for you. Yeah, the acute pains are waiting for us. Okay. The younger ones, the fact that they are yet to encounter the life. Oftentimes you will understand that my mobile, today I don't know how it came to here. Usually I don't take it with me outside here in this campus, because it is advised that sometimes the mobile, we are not being too discreet, and we just continue to disturb your roommates. And everybody came here not for the holiday and so forth. They came here for some studies, reflection, meditation, and they expected to come early morning, and then the late night you keep talking, and the roommate is being disturbed. So that way, let us be very sensitive. Let us be very compassionate to your roommate and to respect the environment also. So therefore, I don't know how it came today. Usually, to keep the timing, there's a clock there, but I have to watch here. I don't know how it came. The thing is that this is one thing that I request. The request actually came from the administration, and I fully respect that. That please, whatever the rule said, of the retreat, let's all respect that. Okay. What was I saying? Okay. Someday, say, young boys and girls who I know from schools, if you are yet to join college, if you call me, no matter how urgent I am, I'll pick up the phone. Because you don't know what is suffering. You're getting it? And for them, a small problem is a huge problem, right? It can really give them, if I don't pick up the phone, it may give them heart attack. What happened? Right? He's not picking up my phone. Whereas if you're in college, I'll not pick up the phone. Particularly when I'm busy, I'll not pick up the phone. But you understand it. You have seen the world a little bit. But the young ones, they have seen the world. They need support. They're now coming out. They're bound to face the real life. Real life is very painful. So we are there to support them. At least let them settle in this world of suffering. To let them know that the world is not that easy. It's not that beautiful as how it used to be when on the school days. Okay, for that matter, when those in the school, before they join the college, particularly that transition period, when they call me, I pick up. No matter what, I pick up. Even during this time, if I receive a call, right, somebody they're passing through this transition period, for them, they will feel as well like they are dejected. They're being dejected, their life is so meaningless and hopeless. Whereas when you go to the college, university, then you become more settled, you see the reality more closely, and you are not easily affected by the external factors. Okay. And what kind of suffering? If I ask you this, the suffering is very painful, to be very honest. Life is not that easy. And we put on the facade, one facade. When you go out, we put on nice, we tidy ourselves, right? And then we put on a different facade. Whereas at home, we are very different. So we have so much a problem. So what I tell people is that don't think that you are the only person. This whole world, everybody is suffering. This is reality. Everybody is suffering. We should know this reality. Everybody is suffering. And what kind of suffering? Sickness is terrible. COVID-19, for example, COVID-19 sickness is extremely scary. And they say sometimes, my friends, they said, oh, they're particularly the Delta, the COVID, the Delta variant. So somebody is sick, yes. So what do you do? So Geshe, can you send somebody to take care of that? how can I tell somebody to risk your life, right? So this person is also a human being who doesn't want to die. So we should be very realistic. So what I'm saying is that everybody's going through tough times, difficult times. And the difficulties, the pains that we go through, if you think about these, is acutely painful. For example, the pain of losing near and dear ones, as the whole life shatters. The whole life is meaningless, is totally gloomy and totally meaningless. This is what we feel. How many of you have felt that in your life recent? How many felt that life is shattered altogether, and you feel totally the meaninglessness of the whole, as though the whole life is so hollow, meaningless, presents? Sometimes it helps, we feel like, yes, of course. And keep that in mind, everybody's going through this. And if not, we've been through this yet, but I've been through this since I was 5. Since I was 5. At 5, I lost my mother. That simply shattered everything of this young boy. Okay, so what I'm saying is that these things, we are bound to go through these problems one way or the other. And we should be very realistic. And the problems that we went through, that we are going through, we are bound to go through. And yes, of course, I'm sure many of you have been through the same thing. When I was very young, said that at 5 I lost my mother, and then when I was like 7, 8, 9, when I was with my father, when sometimes he would take a nap, just sitting like this, a nap, and then I would have a sense of fear that whether he's alive or not, I would touch his heart to see if he's still breathing. So how many did that? I'm sure you must have done that to your parents. Yes, over there. Yes. So this is where, as small children, you are actually going through a very panicky state. To imagine to lose somebody who you love so much, like your dad, your mom, is acutely painful for you. And this is what most of us have been through. Okay. So they say, if you think of that, sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, anxiety, anguish, and the bewilderment, confusion in life. So if you think of these, in fact, at times, one such moment is good enough to nullify all the past memories of merriments, celebrations, festivities, birthday party celebrations, and so forth. Everything will just be nullified. All the experience of the past will be nullified by one moment of the tragedy that we face with. If you think like this, then we see that I should be more realistic. I should not be carried away by, for example, I have acute pain here, somebody gives me a chocolate, then I just forget this pain. We should not behave like this. We should not behave like a small child. We should not forget the past experiences of the pains. And yet, it doesn't mean that we have to just think of you should be bogged down by the pains. No. Think about the pains and see how to get away from this pain. This is a wise person's approach. See how to get away from these pains. That is so important. And reflect on these pains, and this will make us more grounded in our life. Otherwise, when you don't see the ground reality, we're just fascinated by small things. Just, okay, no, I don't like this food. It has what? I don't like it. If this is the attitude, we are yet to see the reality. If you see the reality, so a person who has really experienced life will never behave like this. So that person, anything, the person can adjust with any situation. So therefore, to think about the real life is so important. All contaminated things are suffering nature. And say today we are all very fortunate that some of you may have come with some financial support from your parents, from your friends, from your whatever, from your from your earnings and so forth. So somehow we came here. But there are so many people who have to think of where am I going to get the next meal, from where I'm going to get the next meal. And Don't think that these are unfortunate people, I'm the very fortunate people. No, we never know. The next time we will end up in this situation ourselves. We never know. We talk, say the people in the hands of the terrorists. Nobody said that, okay, I'm so excited I'm going to the terrorists' hands. No. But somehow they come in the hands of terrorists. We never know that we will be the next person. We never know. Simply because we are safe today doesn't mean that we forever will be safe. We can't be in the hands of the terrorists. We never know that. So, what I'm saying is that if you think about these realities more closely, then you'll become more grounded. And most importantly, not just for you to feel to be grounded, but to think of how to transcend all these the problems altogether, how to transcend altogether, how to transcend your miseries. This is the purpose why we are reflecting on this suffering. Okay, all contaminated things are suffering nature. So we think about the suffering nature and how the contaminations, that self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude, these two create the miseries. And I'm sure you have many questions on what is self-grasping, ignorance, what is self-centered attitude, how do you distinguish these two things. And I want somebody to remind me later. Who's going to volunteer to remind me? Yes, here. At least two. I need two. Okay, one there. Okay, so we have two of them. Raise hands so everybody can see two of you, so that I will not be responsible. Okay, good. What is the question? Two of you. Very good. What is self-grasping, ignorance? What is self-centered attitude? How these two are different. Okay. And then, yes, of course. How many you seriously think that the life, there are so many miseries, reasons? How many seriously think? It's a little complicated. Life is very complicated. There are miseries, reasons. Okay. And among those who raise your hands, they raise your hand again if you are very serious with it. If you are very serious. Okay. And how many you don't want to have this misery, reasons? How many don't want to have this misery, reasons? And how many you are serious with it, reasons? Okay. If you're very serious, then you have to go for the number 3. The question is whether or not there is a solution to this problem. Whether or not what we have reflected thus far, say all composite things are impermanent, all contaminant things are suffering nature. Yes, that's very true. Composite things are impermanent. And not only impermanent, that my bodies move so fast, and I don't want to see my body changing. I don't want to see my body becoming older. I don't want to see the whole world going to the next phase and we all leaving this world. I don't want to see this happen, but it's happening. We cannot stop it. And not only that, the change is happening, the change gives rise to miseries. Because contaminated things are of suffering nature, miseries. How to stop it is the question. Right? And if you're very serious with this, how to stop it? And this is the time to reflect on the point number 3. So, saying how to stop these miseries. Anyone? How to stop these miseries?
Meditation.
Huh?
Meditation.
Meditation. Like what?
Like calm abiding.
Okay, calm abiding meditation, where your mind is very calm, peaceful. Right?
And vipassana.
Vipassana. What is vipassana? Sensation, analyzing sensations, observing the breath. Okay, anyone else? Yes. Remove the two obscurations. Very good. So now, your name? Tam. Tam is bringing what we learned. This is so precious. Let's not forget it. Say, of course you can give your own answers. At the same time, whatever we have learned, just see if you can extract information from there, what you learned. This is where we are applying what we learned into your analysis. This is so precious. Thank you. So by removing the mental dirt, the true nature of mind is totally fearless. and with infinite expansive happiness. And this is what we are seeking. Was to observe the fearlessness, the fears. We don't want to encounter the fears. But the true nature of mind is fearless in nature. Why you feel the fear? Because then it is that fearless nature is obscured by the mental defilements. Remove the mental defilements, the two obscurations. That makes total sense. Wonderful. Okay. Do you remember this mantra? Ye dharma hetu prabhava. We recited it like 2 years ago. We recited 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when we last met. You remember? When did we recite this mantra? Om ye dharma hetu prabhava. This morning? Yesterday? An hour ago? 2 hours ago? Okay. See, the mantra reads, Ye dharma hetu prabhava. All these phenomena arise from causes. You're getting it? So, since we don't want these miseries, how to stop the miseries? Is by stopping the causes of the miseries. Okay. This is very important. This is very important. Oftentimes, this is where I seek advice from people. So today also I will seek your advice. I live in Delhi, and some part of my sharing is true. Some part I just create. I create as a scenario. Create a scenario which may not be reality. Say, I live in Delhi, and I live in a building, the third floor, and in the month of May, June, particularly May, June, the weather is extremely dry, and my house, since May, June, I started to have asthma problem. This is not a reality. I'm going to a story. Okay, I have asthma problem. And this asthma problem is related to the moisture in my house. Little dampness in my house. So I don't want to go through this asthma problem. What advice you would really give me? Anyone, raise hands. What advice would you give me? I don't want to continue with this asthma problem, right? And the how I contracted this asthma, I told you, I live on the third floor, Delhi, May, June, the weather is so dry, and the third floor, and because of I developed this asthma problem because of a little bit of dampness there in the house, and so what advice would you give me? I don't want to stay with this asthma any longer. Raise hands. Okay, Maria. No advice? No advice. Okay, here. Change your environment, which means change my house. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Elsewhere meaning move your house. This is what I'm saying. Change the house. I have so many books. Very heavy. Third floor, going down. Right? Okay.
Practice detachment and move elsewhere.
Practice detach from the books, detach from your brains, right? Detach from learning.
Yeah.
Detach from learning. Okay. Detach from nirvana, Buddhahood. This is not wise advice. Here.
Keep the fan on, turn on the AC.
Keep the fan on. Yes, over there.
Buy a humidifier.
Not humidifier, dehumidifier. Yeah, humidifier will make it more humid. Yeah. So I should buy dehumidifier. Yes, it's quite expensive. Yeah, it's quite expensive, and also that I have to say once is a little damaged, I'm gonna have to call the technician. The technician will say that I'll come tomorrow. Right? There's a problem. A window open the windows, mosquitoes come.
But if the weather is dry, then you won't have moisture.
Exactly, but I'm not telling lies. In a way, you are telling me that you are telling lies. How come there's some moisture there? It's whether you said the weather is dry. Okay, here.
I say to better clean all the walls, repaint the house.
Okay, repaint the house, clean the walls, repaint the house. Delhi is very expensive.
No, you can do it yourself.
Huh?
Do it yourself.
You have to do. Somehow you have to do something, right? You have to do something. But it's not about expensive, not expensive. You have to do something. If you don't want this, otherwise you live with the asthma. Okay. Anyone else? Here. Go to a good doctor. Right. So 2 doctors there. Here.
Find what is causing the humidity.
Okay, find what's causing the humidity. Okay. I never thought about it. Okay. Angela?
Find the causes that create humidity.
Find the cause of the humidity. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so Angela, he knows me so well. From how many years now? 4 or 5 years? 5 years. So Angela, he said, don't worry. Don't listen to all these people. Right? No need to change your room. And no need to repaint the house. Right? No need to buy dehumidifier. No need to open the window and welcome mosquitoes. No need. Right? I'll come. So he comes. Angela, he comes. Yes, Vinala.
It's just a imagination.
Say it again.
It's just a imagination. It's not real.
It's interesting. So you're cooking up a story. It's not real. Okay. What if it is real then? What if it is real? Then what is that is true? That you're cooking your story. You said it's not real. So why should I have to worry? Not real. Okay, that's but what if it is real then? What it was for a gift? So Ningela comes, then he will say that, okay, Gishila, every morning you used to recite the mantra. What is that mantra? Ye dharma hetu prabhava. All these phenomena arise from causes. There's dampness, there must be reason in the air. It's very hot, very dry weather. There's no reason why there should be dampness, otherwise there must be reason in the air. And it is not the ground floor, it's the 3rd floor. Ground floor, from the ground the water can come. But the 3rd floor means it cannot come from the down. There must be reason in the air. And Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava. Don't forget this mantra, Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava. So he would check the pipelines, water pipelines, and he saw what? Leakage in the air. A little fracture there, and from there very tiny leakage is happening, unseen, but leakage is happening in the air. That is spreading the water droplets in the air. Okay, so what Minjila did is that instead of the 20,000 dehumidifier, he went to buy a 10 rupees glue. 10 rupees glue, and wipe it clean and then put the glue there, 10 rupees glue there, and everything stopped. I don't have to take all the books down. I don't have to detach myself from Nirvana and Buddhahood. I don't have to buy the dehumidifier. I don't have to receive the scold from somebody else. You're telling lies. How come that it's damp, right? It's a hot weather, it's a dry weather, right? So, and I don't have to go to hospital. Right. Okay, so look, if you track the cause, fix it, your problems, this is meaning of transcending sorrow. You transcend sorrow by transcending the cause of the sorrow. So this is what should be done. One point, I was invited to a center to give a teaching. I met a young gentleman, and he was sharing with me about his problems. He said that he is on antidepressants, which means that he has some stress, anxiety problem, and he's on I felt a little sympathetic, and I listened to his stories, and then he said that and then I asked him, what could be the reason that you have to depend on this antidepressant. He said that he is working in a corporate and his boss is not fair, and his boss is always unfair, and his juniors are given promotion and he's never given promotion. So then I said that if that is the case, please don't take the antidepressants. I told him, because by taking the antidepressants, it will not change the mind of your boss. The cause continues to remain. The cause of being biased towards you or being unfair towards you continues. As the cause continues, anxiety, depression, stress, they will continue to be there. And then you take the antidepressants. This is adding to your, it actually numbs your whole, the immunity. It numbs your whole, the biological, the functions of the body. So it's not really healthy. The best thing is you look for another job, because antidepressants, they have so much side effects. It can really destroy your body. So please don't do that. This is what I told him. So in a way, the point is that the cause, till you deal with the cause of the problem, you cannot get away from the problem altogether. So this is what we need to keep in mind. So with this in mind, so in order to get rid of the miseries, you need to know how to get rid of the cause of miseries. And what are the causes of the miseries? Anybody? What are the causes of miseries? Anyone?
Self-grasping and
Self-grasping ignorance, self-centered attitude. Very good. Okay. So primarily it is the self-grasping ignorance. Self-centered attitude is the one which complements. This we'll learn later, the difference between these two things. The root is the self-grasping ignorance. Okay. How to get rid of the self-grasping ignorance? Wisdom. Very good. Thank you. Okay. In this connection, I like to share with you one verse by Aranyagarbhuna. And these are all extremely important. If possible, try to remember these points. Aranyagarbhuna, in his classic text known as the Mula Madhyamika Karika, or the fundamental wisdom of the middle way, where Aranyagarbhuna said, ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Ceasing of karmas and afflictions. Ceasing meaning stopping. Ceasing karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Karmas and afflictions arise from the conceptualization of inappropriate attention. Let me repeat it. Karmas and afflictions arise from the conceptualization of inappropriate attention, which in turn arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. The elaboration ceases through the wisdom of emptiness. Okay. And is there anybody who can help me track where this is in this book? Page 116. Okay, just turn to page 116. Okay, page 116. It is the part of chapter 18. Verse number 5. Ceasing of karmas and afflictions instead leads to make it is nirvana. This is the translation error. Ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Karmas and afflictions arise from conceptual thought of inappropriate attention. Inappropriate attention, you put in bracket. Inappropriate attention. These meaning the inappropriate attentions. These inappropriate attention arise from the mental elaboration of grasping into existence, and this elaboration of the grasping into existence ceases by the wisdom of emptiness. Okay, here we need to remember 5 points. If possible, after the class, when you go back to your respective places, make it a point that you remember these points, and in group discussion also, rather than jumping to your questions, I would highly recommend you to, first of all, who is able as a moderator will let others get the opportunity to speak what these points are, the 5 points, and then the 4 misconceptions, the 4 seals, what are 2 obscurations, what are 2 goals. Make sure that everybody knows these things, everybody has these on your fingertips, and then you can go into the debates or more discussions. Okay, here we need to remember the 5 points. The 5 points are, first, it says ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. What's the opposite of nirvana? Samsara, or suffering. Samsara or suffering. So the first one is samsara. First one is samsara. Samsara is the opposite of nirvana. Then this samsara is given rise to by the contaminated karmas. So karma here is the contaminated karmas. Number 2. And the contaminated karmas are given rise to by the afflictions. Number 3. Afflictions are given rise to by the inappropriate attention. And you may be wondering, as to what is meant by inappropriate attention. Don't worry, this is all what I explained. Number 4 is inappropriate attention. Now how does it arise? Inappropriate attention, it arises by dependence on the self-grasping ignorance, or the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. Okay, let me go through this again. The first one is samsara, which is opposite of nirvana. And samsara was the immediate cause of samsara, contaminated karmas. And what is the immediate cause of contaminated karmas? Afflictions. And what is the immediate cause of the afflictions? Inappropriate attention. And what is the immediate cause of the inappropriate attention? Self-grasping ignorance. Okay, let's not forget these are the 5 points. How many of you still feel fresh? Raise your hands. How many still feel fresh? If I can go for another, we still have 6 minutes more. Total, I need another 10 minutes. I want 5 minutes more. Okay, how many of you are fresh? Raise your hands. Okay, I'm glad. You're all very fresh. Okay, so this is so important, how our miseries, our pains arise. And if you learn on the basis of how these 5 points move, 5 points, related to 5 points, how our miseries arise, then we gradually try to apply this to your own life and see how your miseries, each of these miseries arise on the basis of these 5 points. You're getting it? Okay. So I like to give the example first. Imagine that we're all fast asleep, and then you dream of having a class here in the Gompa. You're actually in your room, but you dream of being in this the hall, prayer hall, Gompa, and then what I do is that I pick this up like this. I show this to you, and you look at it. What is this? This is a dream mobile. This is a dream mobile. I'm dreaming. You're dreaming. This is a dream mobile. But when you look at it, you see it's a dream mobile. You see it's a mobile. Hey, you're dreaming. In your dream, you dream of me raising this, picking this up in my hand. So what do you see? Hey. Okay, in your dream, there's a dream mobile, you will say that this dream mobile, or you say there's a mobile there. Okay, what are you saying? If I ask you, then what's your answer? I'm saying mobile. Actually, this is a dream mobile. Don't forget it, you're dreaming it. Okay, so first is seeing a dream mobile. Then you look at it very carefully, right? And then you ask, what mobile is that? Then Pinzoli will say, it is brand new iPhone 14 Pro. Wow. Okay. Number one, seeing a dream mobile as a real mobile, number one. Then not only is a mobile, it is a brand new iPhone 14 Pro. Number two, you exaggerate the quality of the mobile. First you misperceive the object, dream mobile as a real mobile. Then you misperceive the characteristic of the object. You see it as a brand new iPhone 14 Pro. You give a false characterization to the object. Number two. Then what happens? Wow, that's amazing. I'd like to have it. Right? Then say, Geshe-la, my mobile, can the two mobiles be exchanged? Then your neighbor says, no, I said it before. Before we entered, I saw this already, I told him, and he promised to have exchange with mine. Right? And then two of you would have fist fight. And fist fight, with a fist fight, police comes, take you behind bars. Right? Okay. So let's say, and then your mom called up the office, right? What happened to my daughter? She is not coming. What happened to my son? He is not coming. Oh, two of them, they're in the behind bars. So your poor mother comes to the prison. What happened? Why do you went to what? Thosamling? Not to go behind bars. But why you entered in bars? Why? Okay, you entered in bar. Why you entered in the prison? And prison is not a nice place. It's a samsara, right? Why you entered in prison? Why? You know what? Hey, why you entered in prison?
action.
Craving. Oh, simply because I crave for this mobile, police will not arrest you. Right? Police will arrest you only when action takes place. Fast is fight. Only with the fist fight, then the police will take you. Otherwise, you can have so much of intense craving for mobile. I want to have the mobile. No police will grab you. Right? Okay. So it's because of the fist fight. Fist fight is a karma. Right? So the immediate cause of you being in prison is because of the fist fight. That's karma. And why did you fight? You did not go to prison to fight. Why did you fight? Hey, tell me why? Huh? No, tell me. Tell me. Why did you fight? Huh?
You wanted the mobile.
I wanted the mobile. I'm attached to the mobile, and I am I dislike this person, right? I've the aversion towards this person, and I've attachment towards this mobile. Because of this competition, I had to fight. So this fight was because of my attachment to the mobile and aversion to my competitor. So these two are the afflictions. In other words, what made you fight is because of the afflictions. What made you have the contaminant karmas is because of the affliction. And why were you attached to the mobile? Why? What's your response? Hey. Huh? It's real or what? Brand new iPhone 14 Pro. It's not just a mobile. You getting it? It's a very unique mobile. So, exaggeration of this known as inappropriate attention. What is inappropriate attention? This is a Tamil term. This is a Tamil term. In Tibetan it is Chulmin Yiche. Chulmin Yiche. In English we translate it as inappropriate attention. This is a Tamil term. You cannot guess what it means. It has very specific meaning. It means false characterization of the object. False characterization of the object. Exaggerating the qualities of the object. False characterization of the object or exaggerating the qualities of the object. This is inappropriate attention. Are you sure that it's the mobile in the first place? What's the answer? Yes, of course. That's not a real dream mobile. This is a real mobile. Okay. Was it a real mobile or dream mobile? Dream mobile. So tell me, what was the root of all these problems, chain of the problems? Seeing the dream mobile as a real mobile. You are getting it? That is the self-grasping ignorance. That is the root. Okay, now, if I'm to tell you that if you don't want to be in prison, what should you have done? Namsala, what should you have done if you don't want to be in prison? Huh? Okay, Namsala is going to do directly. Okay, anyone, what's the immediate cause of being in the prison? Fight. You should have stopped fighting. You getting it? In order to stop fighting, what should you have done? Not attached to the mobile and no aversion to your competitor. So not to have the attachment to the mobile, no the aversion to the competitor, what should you have done? You should have stopped the inappropriate attention. Giving a false categorization to the object should be stopped. So how should you stop that? By not seeing the dream mobile as the real mobile. You're getting it? Okay. So if you go in if you go causally speaking, how you end up in prison, the root is what? Ultimately, what's the root? Seeing the real mobile, dream mobile as the real mobile. That is the metaphor for the self-grasping ignorance. And if you don't want to be in this prison, then finally what should you have done? To be away from this prison, what should you have done? You should not have seen the dream mobile as the real mobile. And how not to see it? How not to see the dream mobile as the real mobile? Hey, Namsala. Huh? Louder. Don't say wake up. Wake up. You're not waking up. Wake up. That's not waking up. Wake up. Right? Okay. So if you don't want to see the dream mobile as the real mobile, what should you do? Wake up. Wake up. This is why the Buddha is revered as the fully awakened one. You're getting it? So we have to wake up. If you don't want to go through all these miseries of life, what should we do? We should wake up from the sleep of ignorance. Okay, good? Okay, so today we could not entertain question answers, it's fine. For the question answers, for the group discussions, there are two group discussions, compulsory. The last one is optional. And for the first two group discussions, what I request you is go to get your tea as soon as possible and go to your group. Otherwise, you have just such a short span of time. 1 hour, just time flies. Okay, so they make the most of your group discussions. Okay, thank you. Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhisvatyata